is better than 1,000. So one day in the kingdom of heaven is better than 1,000 of your best days on this side, man. Let me repeat that again. One single day in the kingdom of heaven is better than 1,000 of your best days on this side, man. Okay? When things were better for you. Moments that you can reminisce on and say, yeah, that was a good day. The kingdom of heaven blows it out the park, man. It blows it out the water. Just one day. Not to mention, the Heavenly Father, He's going to stretch out the time. He's going to expand the time so you can enjoy your immortality. You can enjoy your life. And the Lord said in Wisdom of Solomon, He created the Israelite man to be an image of his own eternity, man. We're going to be a likeness of his own eternity, man. We're going to be many most highs, man. We're going to be many most highs. Okay? Gods on earth under Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And also what's going to make us gods? These laws, statutes, commandments, and us judging by the laws, statutes, commandments, but also these laws being in our inward parts, making us those perfect judges. Not to mention, we experience these different reincarnations in this wicked flesh, so we know how to judge the flesh. We know how to judge this body because we've been in this body many times. Okay? But once again, the kingdom of heaven is going to be patterned after the mind of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. A righteous paradigm.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, whom rule well, teach well, being great example to us younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing His word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Alright, and what I want to get into this morning, through the spirit, alright, the inspiration of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, is to go into the book of Daniel, the first chapter. And Lord will, we can go through the whole book, alright, of Daniel. It's a heavy book. Daniel, had a heavy portion of prophecy, while he was, a captive, in Babylon. A lot of history, dealing with the book of Daniel, and a lot of prophecy. Okay. And just want to go into it, Lord will, we can get through the whole book, and it's edifying. Now, when you go into Daniel, the first chapter, what we have to understand, is Jeremiah, had pretty much, been telling the kings, of Judah, that Babylon, was about to be the superpower in the region, and Jeremiah, pretty much telling, the different kings and the leadership, of Judah, to like, look, just pay tribute, chill, Babylon, hey, repent, serve the Lord, Babylon gonna do their thing, it's their time. Okay? And they looked at Jeremiah as a sellout, and Judah, would try to make, the southern kingdom would try to make different alliances to, combat, the emergence of Babylon as a superpower, but ultimately, the Lord had to where Babylon, all right, eventually took down the southern kingdom, and carried away captives, you know, into Babylon, all right, as it was prophesied. So you get the account, by the time we get to the book of Daniel, okay, Nebuchadnezzar, has pretty much, invaded Judea, all right, or Israel, okay, the southern kingdom, and begins to start taking captives, all right, and Daniel is in this batch of captives that are taken to Babylon, okay, because you had pretty much um two different times when Babylon will come and take captives, all right, from the southern kingdom, and Daniel was in their first batch, and then later, no, Ezekiel was in their first batch, and then, you had Daniel, that will be taken captive later on. So when we read in Daniel chapter 1, verse 1, it says, in the third year of the reign of Joachim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, all right, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem and besieged it. And the Lord gave Joachim, king of Judah, into his hand, with part of the vessels of the house of the Most High, which he carried in the land of Shinar to the house of his God. And he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God. All right, so the temple, was being sacked. Okay, and they're getting, the precious vessels, okay, out of the temple. All right, and bringing it, into Babylon. Okay, and this is the, going into the first destruction, all right, of the temple, okay, that was built by King Solomon, all right, and it says, and the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of the eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, okay, so when you read this in the NLT, it says, then the king ordered Ashpenaz, his chief of staff, to bring to the palace some of the young men of Judah's royal family and other noble families who had been brought to Babylon as captives. Okay, so Daniel, was of their royal lineage, okay, of Judah. Verse 4 says, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom and cunning and knowledge and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning of the tongue of the Chaldeans. Okay, so when you take down a nation of people, okay, what will happen is, you would preserve some of the royal families, okay, some of the nobles, some of the noble men, because these men would be well educated, all right, they will know that, because you want to know the history of these people, okay, you want to know what God these people serve, you want to know what diet these people on, you want to know what wars have they fought, okay, so when you take over a people, in order to rule them, you need to understand, you need to have some type of understanding of these people. Okay, so you would preserve, all right, certain, of the nobility, the government, all right, or people from, their royal line, all right, to pretty much counsel you on the people that you just conquered. Okay, so this is what we're seeing happening, all right, dealing with the Babylonians taking down the southern kingdom. Okay, and you will teach them in your way, so they can teach, all right, the rest of the people, their way. All right, so you will get the nobles and train them up in the, the Babylonian way, so they, all right, will be able to train the rest of the people, because, they already speak the language. Okay, you see, so they will get people from their royal lineage and train them up in the way of the Chaldeans, so they can introduce their way to their people. Okay, Same thing that we see today. You know, pretty much going back to plantation Christianity. You know, where they give, you know, certain leaders of the plantation, you know, certain, you know, leaders of amongst the slaves, they give them that plantation doctrine, all right, to indoctrinate the rest of the plantation. Okay, so I want to get here now. This is a very spiritual part of the account. Okay, when you go to Daniel chapter 1 verse 5, it says, and the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof they might stand before the king. Okay, so they take these nobles. You see, everyone, you know, doesn't go into just this hardcore bondage captivity. Okay, because like I said, you will preserve nobles. Okay, and you would have them, you know, pretty much kept, you know, well kept. Okay, because you needed them, all right, for administration purposes. Okay, so they will get, you know, the daily provisions of the king's meat. Okay, and wine. All right, and it says, now among these were the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Okay, and this is Daniel and the 3 Hebrew boys, man. All right, which you know, they're gonna, you know, come back around in the 3rd chapter. Okay, but this shows you also that, you know, the Israelite man, all right, was valued. Okay, like you look at our people today, you know, especially with, you know, the enchantments that our people are under. Okay, we're looked at it, we're despised. Okay, and Esau has it to where, you know, he has pushed the propaganda to where every Israelite man is just, you know, a deadbeat father, you know, some thug, some criminal, you know, and all, you know, a lot of us have to deal with that stigma. Okay, but this shows you that the Israelite man was valued. Okay, matter of fact, let's get this in Nehemiah. Okay, in these different empires, you know, you will always have Israelites around, you know, as advisors of the king. You know, they will be trusted, you know, because one thing when you understand like rulership amongst these heathens, it was real grimy. You know, brothers will try to kill each other for the throne, sons will kill fathers for the throne, you know, wife be plotting, you know, your wife be plotting for power, you know, it's all type of, you know, griminess. You know, so when these heathen kings, you know, would be around Israelite men of integrity, it was like a relief. You know, someone they can trust, someone that doesn't have all these ulterior motives, someone who just giving good sound advice, man. You know, and that's the quality that comes, you know, from being the son of God, man. You know, is that integrity, man. That's a major quality that we had, you know, as a people. Okay, so you get this in the book of Nehemiah. All right, and it's gonna come around again too when we go to Tobit. Now this is in the book of Nehemiah. All right, chapter 2. Okay, now this is Nehemiah 2:1. It says, and it came to pass in the month Nisan, in the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king. All right, well, this is during the Persian Empire. I said that wine was before him, and I took up the wine. All right, so Nehemiah was a cupbearer. Okay, and that's a very trusted position because anybody couldn't just bring the king wine. All right, because you know you will have poisoning. You know, there's a lot of, you know, that was one of the ways that they would do assassinations back then was through poisoning. All right, so if you're a cupbearer, you know, to a king, it means you're well trusted. Okay, and it says, and gave it unto the king. Now I had not been before time sad in his presence, because Nehemiah was sad because he just got the report, okay, that, you know, the temple wasn't being built. Okay, Jerusalem, the people that was left in the land, was through. Okay, so he was sad around the king. It says, wherefore the king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? There is nothing else but sorrow of heart. Then I was so very sore afraid, and said unto the king, let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad, when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lieth waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire? Then the king said to me, for what dost thou make request? So I prayed to the power of heaven. And so you read this in the NLT. It said the king answered, well, how can I help you? Okay, with a prayer to the power of heaven. Showed you that, Artaxerxes, he really, you know, you know, he looked at he favored Nehemiah, and he had a concern about, Nehemiah's well-being. You see, 'cause that was his guy. And if you're the king's cupbearer, man, you the king, you around the king nice. Y'all have conversations, man. You probably privy, telling you things, cause like I say, there's very few people that the king could trust, man. So, him and Nehemiah probably had a good rapport. Okay. And it says, and I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, for how for how long shall thy journey be, and when wilt thou return? So it pleased the king. All right, so it pleased the king to send me, and I sent him a time. Okay, so the king pretty much was like, all right, so how long you gonna be gone? When you coming back? Like, that was the king's concern. Like, look, pretty much you say, what Craig told Smokey, and be back. Pretty much, because that was his guy. So you were like, how long you gonna be gone, and when you coming back? And he told him. The king was like, all right. Verse 7 said, moreover, it said, I said unto the king, if it please the king, let letters be given me to the governors beyond, all right, that they may come. Well, I'm gonna read this in NLT. This is Nehemiah 2:7. Says, I also said to the king, if it please the king, let me have letters addressed to the governors of the princes west of the Euphrates, instructing them to let me travel safely through their territories on my way to Judah. And please give me a letter addressed to Asaph, the manager of the king's forest, and instructing him to give me timber. Okay, I will need it to make beams for the gates of the temple fortress, for the city walls, and for a house for myself. And the king granted these requests because the gracious hand of the Most High was on me. So Israelite men were well favored. Okay, we wasn't looked at. We wasn't thugs and criminals and street niggas and prison niggas and degenerates and deadbeats and all this. All these titles that have been put on us in this captivity, man. Okay, the Israelite man in his natural estate, okay, is a man of quality, man. Okay, especially a man that's in favor with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Okay, so just to show Joseph, okay, he was a man that second in charge in Egypt. Okay, so you go here and go back to Daniel. All right. So it says, this Daniel 1:7. It says, unto whom, what started at 6, it said, now among these were the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, and they have, all have spiritual names, because this is their Hebrew names. Now, well, Daniel is an English name, but the Hebrew is Daniel. all right, which the Most High is my judge. Okay, then you go to Hananiah, all right, which is Kananaya, Hananiah, all right, which is the Most High has favored. Okay, the Most High has favored, and you go to Mishael, all right, which is Maya Sha'al in the Hebrew, Maya Sha'al, who is what God is. Okay, who is what God is, man. You know, the image of the Heavenly Father. You see, then you go to Azariah, all right, which is I Isaiah, what is it? Azariah, okay, which is Yahweh has helped. Okay, so there's some spiritual names, and we'll probably address those names again in the 3rd chapter when we get to it. But this is going back into Daniel 1:7, says, unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names, for he gave unto Daniel the name Belshazzar, and to Hananiah Shadrach, and Mishael Meshach, and Azariah Abednego, which those are Babylonian names. Okay, and that's what they're mainly known by. When you think about the accounts in Daniel when they was put in the furnace, it said, but Daniel, all right, purpose in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Okay, so he denied, all right, the king's portion. Now he physically denied the actual meat and the wine of the king, all right, but spiritually, this was a stance. He was taking the stance, all right, not to conform to Babylon. This has a spiritual overtone. This was Daniel not conforming to Babylon, not conforming to his captivity. Okay, and it's very similar to what we read in the book of Tobit. Let's get that account, and then we'll go into the spiritual aspect of it, man. Okay, let's get this in the book of Tobit, chapter 1. All right, because Tobit was of the northern kingdom, okay, which went into the Syrian captivity. All right, like 122 years before the southern kingdom went into the Babylonian captivity, okay, which they went on the captivity on Shalmaneser the 5th. Okay, he's reading in first Kings or 2nd Kings. Let me look at it just to make sure. Okay, so it'd be 2nd Kings, the 17th chapter. Yep. So yes, 2nd Kings, the 17th chapter. All right, if you want to read, their history, okay, the northern kingdom being taken into captivity under the Assyrians. Okay, now this is the book of Tobit, chapter 1. All right, and I guess we'll start at 1. All right, this is the book of Tobit, chapter 1, verse 1. It says, the book of the words of Tobit, son of Tobiah, the son of Ananiel, the son of Adu, the son of Gabriel, the seed of Esau, of the tribe of Naphtali. All right, it says, who in the time of Shalmaneser, king of the Assyrians, all right, was led captive, all right, of Tishba, which is at the right hand of the city, which is called properly Naphtali in Galilee, above Asher. I, Tobit, have walked all the days of my life in the ways of truth and justice. I did many alms to my brethren and my nation, who came with me to Nineveh in the land of the Assyrians, And when I was in my own country in the land of Israel, being but young, all the tribes of Naphtali, my father, fell from the house of Jerusalem, which was chosen out of all the tribes of Israel. You had this split, you know, the southern kingdom, all right, and the northern kingdom. It said that all the tribes should sacrifice there where the temple of the habitation of the Most High was consecrated and built for all ages. Okay? Now, and what happened, you had Jeroboam, all right, because you had to go to Jerusalem to worship. So he didn't want the northern, after the split, after he broke off from Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, and he didn't want the northern tribes going back to Jerusalem, because he was like, look, they're gonna join back, with the southern tribes. They're gonna join back with, they're gonna come back under the throne of Judah if they keep going down there to worship. So he set up his own temples and priests, okay, which was off, okay, priests outside of the tribes of Levi, and he went into idolatry, okay. But Tobit is going to how he stayed faithful, man. All right, as we're going to read into it, it said, now all the tribes which together revolted, all right, in the house of my father Naphtali sacrificed unto the heifer Baal, okay, idolatry, man. But I alone went often to Jerusalem at the feast, as it were ordained unto all the people of Israel by an everlasting decree, having the first fruits and tenths, all right, of increase with that which was first shorn, and them gave I at the altar to the priest of the children of Aaron. So you had Tobit, he stayed faithful to Yahweh Bashim al-Shah, giving his tithes, to the priest, the sons of Aaron, and coming to Jerusalem for the feast days. Okay, it says the first 10 part of all increase I gave to the sons of Aaron who ministered at Jerusalem. Another 10 part I sold away and went and spent it every year at Jerusalem. And the third, it says, and the third I gave unto them to whom it was meet, as Deborah, my father's mother, all right, which is grandmother, had commanded me, because I was left an orphan by my father. Furthermore, when I was come to the age of a man, I married Anna of my own kindred, and of her I begot Tobias. And when we were carried away captives to Nineveh, all my brethren and those that were of my kindred did eat of the bread of the Gentiles. Okay? And as they're eating of this bread, they're showing that they started to conform to their captivity. Okay? Just as we partook, all right, of the bread, okay? Because the bread can go into doctrine. That's why Yahushua said, what? Eat of me. Okay? Which is eat of the doctrine, eat of my doctrine. Okay? And we began to eat the doctrine of the Gentiles. Okay? In this captivity. You see? And it says, this is Tobit said, but I kept myself from eating because I remember the Most High with all my heart. Okay? So Tobit refrained from partaking, okay, in the diet of the heathen. Okay? And he stuck to the ways, the traditions, okay, of his fathers, man. Okay, and us coming back to the truth, man, we began to, as we begin to digest Yahushua, we're digesting the righteousness of our forefathers, man. You see? And we start partaking in the king's meat. And when I say the king's meat, in this time frame, is the nigger culture, black culture, plantation Christianity, being a Democrat, a street nigger, independent woman, a bad bitch, a savage, drill nigga, whatever, all the, prison nigga, all these different things that we was taught to digest in this society, okay, which led to bad results. It's just like a bad diet, okay? Like a bad diet yields what? Poor results. High blood pressure, gout, heart disease, stroke, and you look at, us digesting okay, of the king's meat. In this society, what did it lead to? Destruction. It led to horrible results. You know, like you have a bad diet, it's pretty much creating chaos in your body. Okay? So if you have a bad doctrine, okay, that you live by, what does it do? It creates chaos. Okay? Confusion. Your body be confused. Okay? When you have a bad diet, your body is overworking, trying to, get rid of particular things. Some things you can't even recognize. You're like, God damn. So how much more a bad doctrine? Okay? And let's show. All right, but it says, and the Most High gave me grace. It says, because I remember the Most High with all my heart, and the Most High gave me grace and favor before Shalmaneser, so I was his purveyor. Now, when you go into a purveyor, just to show you that, like I say, Israelite men, okay, were men of value, okay, because of integrity, man. All right. Yeah, I looked it up before. Yeah, a purveyor. It says a person who sells or deals in particular goods. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, yep. It says an officer, all right, go to the Old English. It says an officer who provided or acquired provisions for the sovereign under the prerogative of purveyance. Okay, so he had a high office, in procuring provisions, okay, for Shalmaneser, making sure that the estates of the king had all the provisions it needed, for its daily functions. Okay, which once again, you have to be well trusted to do that, because there's a lot of resources coming through your hands. Okay, so you will have to be someone that's reliable, okay, integrity, okay, wise, okay, just to show you that the Israelite men will always have, high ranks amongst these heathen empires, man. Okay, so let's go here, because just going to the spiritual overtone, all right, of rejecting the king's meat. Okay, this is Proverbs 23:1. It says, when thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is set before thee. And that's something that we didn't do. We didn't consider, all right, the ripple effects, okay, of being a street nigga, okay, single mothers. We didn't look at the ripple effect. These things was presented to us as a way to be. Okay, this is the food that was given to us by enemies. Okay, being a Democrat, being a Christian, okay, Islam, alphabet people, all these things, okay, that was given to us by our enemy. Okay, our enemy gave us a trash diet, which is going back to it, that trash doctrine, man. And then the diet itself, the actual diet, okay, which is trash. Because one of the leading killers amongst our people is heart disease, going back to the actual diet itself. Okay, but the diet is a part of what? The doctrine. Okay? And it says, and put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite, which is to show restraint. Okay, and that's something that we're learning now, is to show restraint. Okay? It's showing restraint, because you look at the American culture, all right, it's all about overindulgence. People overeat, people overdrink, people, just run themselves to the ground with sex. Okay? People run their bodies to the ground chasing money. It's just a society of overindulgence. It's a doctrine of just overindulging, man. There's no balance, there's no restraint. There's no cutoff. You see? And it says, be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meats. Okay? And the things that he presented before us as something that he presented these doctrines before us as beneficial, but they was deceitful meats. Okay? The woman thought that the government just cared so much about them. When he introduced feminism and women's liberations and sexual liberation, and, the HUD assistance, the food stamps, and he presented these things as if this is beneficial to you. Okay, being a Democrat, being a Christian, he presented these things as if it was beneficial to us, man. Okay, but these things were harmful. It was deceitful meats. Okay, it was meant to destroy us as a people. Okay, it says, I'm gonna jump down. Verse 6, it says, eat thou not the bread of him that have an evil eye. This is our enemy. This is another thing. As we come into the truth, we realize that we have an active enemy. All right, and he never stopped being on the attack. Okay, he just became more subtle with it. It became more systematic than outright. Okay, you see, and it says, eat thou not the bread of him that have an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. Okay, and Esau, he presents. He presented these doctrines, because he presented being the street nigga in such a glorious way. That thug, because he put all these niggas on TV with the money, with the women, with, the respect, the clout. He made these niggas icons, man. Okay? And he made it seem like this was the way. Okay? But it was all a snare, it was a trap. We was eating from a table of poison, man. Self-destruction. Okay? We was eating from a table of destruction. He just put a buffet out there, man. Okay? I say you got your plantation Christianity. You can be a street nigga, you can be a rapper. You can be a thought. You can be Miss Independent, Boss Diva. Okay, you can alphabet. You want to go with screen. You can be alphabet. Okay, trust in this. You can trust in, democracy. Now niggas are Republicans. You see, niggas are still eating off their table, man. All right. It says, verse 7 says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. His mind is not with thee. Okay. He just sitting you Esau just looking at our people just destroy themselves, man. Okay. With these doctrines that he's provided for our people, man. Okay? So he sits back as if he's with you. That's why I say he'll give these niggas these contracts, put these niggas on world tour. Okay? He'll give out the government assistance to these women long as the man is not in the house. Okay? So this man, he'll feed you, okay, and sit back and watch you deteriorate, man. And that's what this man has been doing. He's just been feeding our people this madness and just sitting back and watching them deteriorate, man. Okay? Let me see. What's that in? Matter of fact, let's get that in Habakkuk. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 15. And the Lord is going to punish him. The Lord that's a charge against this devil, man. Because we was punished. We was put in captivity for our disobedience, but this nigga is enchanting us to stay wicked, man. Okay? Habakkuk 2 and 15 says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor strong drink. All right, that giveth his neighbor drink and putteth thy bottle to him and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness, man. So this man is constantly pouring their wine in the cup, all right, and watching our people drink it and make a complete fool of themselves, man. You look at most of our people, it's a goddamn embarrassment, man. Okay, you look at the way our women act, and you look at the way niggas act, man. It's a goddamn embarrassment, man. The way they dress, they mannerisms, man, just to look at them, man. It's a goddamn embarrassment, man. And that comes from constantly partaking in the king's meat, man, which is Esau Edom. Okay? So you have our forefathers, some of them, they will go into captivity and they will reject, okay, the food of their captivity, man. And spiritually, they was rejecting being conformed to their captivity, man. Because you read about Tobit, and say that Tobit was a solid, Tobit was solid, man. So let's go here. Let's go back in Daniel. So Daniel, he rejected the king's meat. It says, now the Most High had brought Daniel into favor and tender love, all right, with the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who hath appointed your meat and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse, liking, all right, than the children which are of your sort? Then shall you make me in danger, all right, my head to the king. So read this in NLT. It says, but he responded, this is what the eunuch, was saying to Daniel, I am afraid, he's like, look, I can't put you on that. I can't give you, the diet that you request. I got to give you the king's meat and the wine. Because he was like, look, I don't want to see you deteriorate, like you my responsibility, So he says, I'm afraid of my lord, the king, who has ordered that you eat this food and wine. If you become pale and thin compared to the other youths your age, I am afraid the king will have me beheaded. All right. So he said, verse 11 said, then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. It says, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us posts to eat, which is going to vegetables, okay, fruit, and water to drink. All right, pretty much a raw diet. All right, and back then the fruits and vegetables, all right, was way more potent, than of today. It said, then let our countenance be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat of the king, of the portion of the kings, and as thou seest, deal with thy servants. So he was like, look, just try it for 10 days. Just give us pretty much fruits, vegetables, and water, all right, and give them, the king's portion, and see what our countenance look like after 10 days. Okay, it says, so he consisted, and that's another thing, like, as we partaken in this truth, look at the results, all right, that we getting now, since we in the truth, since we're living by the doctrine of the truth compared to when we was on the king's meat. Look at the results we get now. You see, verse 14 says, so he consented to them, all right, in the matter, and proved them 10 days. And at the end of the 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat, all right, the portion of the king's meat. Now, let's read this in NLT. It says, at the end of the 10 days, Daniel and his friends looked healthier and better nourished than the young men who had been eating the food assigned by the king. And once again, you look at the results, okay, that we have gotten in this truth, okay, applying this wisdom, growing and maturing in Yahweh Shai, understanding righteousness, and constantly being developed, in this thing, man. Look at the results that we're getting, and look at the results of the world, which is getting worse and worse. Okay, look at the results niggas are getting. Look at the results. The Miss Independent Boss Diva, women are getting. Okay, the modern woman. Look at the results. Okay, and it says, thus Melzar took away the portion of their meat and the wine that they should drink, and gave them posts. Okay, so they changed the diet. It says, as for these 4 children, the Most High gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and in wisdom, and Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. Now at the end of the days that the king had said he should bring them in, then the prince of the eunuchs brought them in before Nebuchadnezzar. So the Lord had favor on Daniel, all right, and Mishael, Hananiah, and Azariah, for standing stiffly, man. Okay, and it says, and the king communed with them, and among them all right, was found none like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Therefore they stood before the king. So the king was like, man, who are these guys? And you read on, it says, and in all matters of wisdom and understanding, all right, that the king inquired them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers that were in all the realm. Going back to the value of the Israelite man, okay, that's serving Yahweh Bashim Shai, that's in good standings with Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right, this is Proverbs 16:7, and it says, when a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Okay, and Daniel, all right, Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael, their ways please Yahweh Bashim Shai. Okay, so even, all right, the heathens were at peace with them. They found favor. It pays to serve Yahweh Bashim Shai in truth and in righteousness, man. And we're really finna see the benefits of it in the times we're coming into. Okay? What this nigga talking about? So yeah, let's go back to Daniel. I think we're at the end of this, the book of Daniel. All right, this is Daniel 1. Okay, and 20, it says, and Daniel continued, all right, until the first year, all right, which he was in their royal service until the first year of King Cyrus. Okay, so Daniel, Daniel was he was a heavy figure, in Yahweh Bashim Shai, and he was a heavy figure in secular history, man. He played a part. So he was in Babylon until the first year of Cyrus, which that's when the Persians came in. So he was in their royal service, for a long time. Okay, and in this captivity, we're in this captivity, we're remembering ourselves, man. You had Daniel that never swayed, but we in this captivity we fell away through the prophecy. All right, but now we're remembering ourselves. Okay, matter of fact, let's end there in Baruch. Okay, let's get this in Baruch, because us remembering ourselves is the beginning process of us being delivered and established in that land. Okay, this is Baruch 2 and 4. It says, now Baruch 2 and 30, it says, for I knew that they would not hear me, because, matter of fact, I started at 29. Baruch 2 and 29 says, if you would not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me. And see, this is where we at now in prophecy. We've been scattered, all right, because of disobedience. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves, man. Okay? Just as me and the brother Halak did the lesson, how we've been invited to the king's feast. Okay? So in the spirit, we're feasting, okay, on Yahushua, which within Yahushua, is everything. So we're getting the understanding of everything. All right. This feast is putting us in remembrance. We're remembering who we are as a people. We're starting to move and act and be us again. Okay, because we're being revived. Because even you go to a restaurant, it goes into being restored. Okay, and it says, and shall know that I am the Lord that power, for I will give them a heart and ears to hear, which he gave us, the gift of faith. And through faith we believe, and if we believe, we obey. Okay, you obey whatever you believe in. Okay, Jake took the juice because they believed in Esau. Okay, you obey whatever you believe in. Niggas try to live off being a street nigga because they believe in it. The woman tries to live off this independent feminist doctrine because they believe in it. Okay, but the Lord gave us the gift of faith to believe in his word, and we begin to live by it, man. Okay, and it says, verse 32, it says, and they shall praise me in the land of the captivity, and think upon my name, the name of the heavenly Father, Yahweh, the name of his only begotten Son, Yahushua. Okay, and it says, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, we remove ourselves from the king's table, Esau, all right, the table of the ruler, and we begin to sit at the table, all right, of Yahushua in righteousness, man. Okay, and it says, for they shall remember the way of their fathers which sinned before the Lord, and I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished, and I will make an everlasting covenant to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. Okay, so this is what this is leading up to. All right, as we remembered ourselves in this captivity, man, and begin to reject the king's meat. And the ultimate thing that we're going to have to reject is this MOTB, okay, which is the C hip. All right, so Lord will, you brothers, okay, and you sisters, have been edified. Till next time, I say Shalom, Kwam Yashala, Abba, Shalom.